Yeah, this Bedeviled. Yeah. People might see it as derivative, and might be. I've literally seen another movie a while ago called Countdown. I think I might have commented on it as well. I'm not sure. It was very similar, I think. And there's also I've watched. I think it was a whole series in. Uh, a whole Asian series, so it wasn't a Western horror movie. That was very similarly modeled. I'm not sure if it was exactly like this, but anyway, I don't know. Most horror movies are similar at any rate. It's not like they're always very different. Now, I'm not saying it. There were other movies that instilled fear more, although of course, like any interesting sort of movie that is based upon some emotion or another, they usually have a class talking about it because of course, why not, right? Uh, so that, in my opinion, sort of adds a bit of flair to it. Not, it's not absolutely necessary, but adds flair. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just saying, the way it out, though, the way that I'm not sure. I mean, if this specifically was in other movies as well, despite being slightly derivative, the way this creature could transform into anyone, or could transform entire environment to like when she was in class and suddenly she was alone. That I think, I don't remember it from anywhere else, as I said, and it was interesting. It was a new sort of dimension to horror, I guess. I don't know. As I said, I'm not sure if it was elsewhere. Might have been, but I'm just saying it adds something to it. As opposed to having like something like Jason Voorhees, who's very singular. He just runs after people and that's it. He doesn't really have all these incredible potential, does he? Where he can literally pretty much inhabit other people and transform environments and utilize people's internal fears. Yeah, cannot quite. It's very, very single in that sense. Not that I suppose his story, Jason Voorhees' story, isn't interesting. But anyway, this is not about that. But I'm just saying, it this was though. Personally, I don't know why people seem to be very. People tend to be. I don't know. I don't know if it's a recent thing or what, but people tend to be very critical. This was rated with a sort of a healthy, 2000 and a half people, and yeah, just a bit over 4. Um, Not that honestly, I rated it, much higher than that, but personally, yeah, it's you know, um, I thought it was average, so um, just like any other average movie, in my opinion, it didn't, disappoint me too much, but I didn't think it was, at least better than average. So yeah, I ended up rating it 5, which is still more than the average rating generally, which is quite something. I mean, just usually I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just for comedies or something. Usually people rate movies higher than I do, but when it comes to horrors, I guess it's I don't know. Not when it comes to Psycho, of course. When it comes to Psycho, for some reason, people are psycho about it, which is ironic, I don't know honestly what they find in Psycho. I don't really find it there. It's a very basic movie and it's kind of annoying. And as I think I've said elsewhere, what I don't understand is how all the sequels are somehow so much worse in people's opinions when they're quite similar in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, as a supernatural horror movie, this, which I don't know, technically if Psycho was also it's more of a slasher, it's just more of a direct slasher, so yeah, well, all psychological, I suppose, but not even the most interesting. So, ironically, yeah, when it comes to people and their ratings, it's just bizarre, isn't it? Like I've seen recently a psychological horror movie, in fact, which it would be more similar to it, called Dream No Evil. So, and in fact, it was made like about a decade after Psycho. So, I don't know if people just wanted, old movies. I guess if they just like them, I'm guessing that's not it. I don't know what it is. But even that, in my opinion, is much more interesting than Psycho. Anyway, yeah, as far as this goes, I don't know what the issue is here. Honestly, it's as I say, can never understand anything here. It's and reading reviews doesn't really enlighten me anymore. I mean, at least after reading the most supposedly helpful review, just said that it fumbled, and that's it. And even as usual with these reviews, what's helpful is not very quite helpful. Like if I was a director reading this, I'm just fumbled. How? Of course, this site very annoyingly doesn't have any chance, any. They're not threads; they're just reviews. So it must be a very frustrating world for movie creators. I don't know personally what it's like, but I mean, I cannot imagine, just seeing these reviews, just absolutely ridiculous reviews. Say, oh, it's bad, and like 100 helpful. Like helpful? How is just saying, oh, it's whatever, without even saying why or how it's supposed to be helpful? So frustrating. So I don't even care about this movie, as I said. I just find it average, but. I mean, how is it? Even if it's not a review that's just full of spelling mistakes or whatever, which I found in the past that somehow are helpful for people. It's just idiotic when it's just it fumbled and that's it. You don't even say how or anything. I mean, it makes no sense. Personally, I found it fine. Like the only the only complaint I have is that it has a lot of jump scares. I hate them. It has a ton of them, and that's why it could have never been above average in my opinion. It's just annoying because of that. But at least it sort of compensates in the sense that it doesn't have any or little, I think any gore. I find gore idiotic. Really, it's not really horror per se. It's more disgusting. At least it didn't happen. I mean, that's fine by me. I did, like all the deaths occurred sort of off screen and such. So as far as it goes, it was subtle in my opinion. I thought I liked how that was done. At first, I thought that he wasn't even killing them. That maybe if they died, like with the first one, it wasn't directly, with a heart attack or whatever. But then I don't know. It's clearly seemed to. The way it was designed was very cool. So those long nail things. Yeah, it's reminded me of some sort of roots. Like a plant's roots. Kind of look like them. Yeah, so I mean, as far as it goes, The second reviewers were complains about the fact that there's some conversation going on between characters. Like, what else do you have in movies? I mean, if they just stare at each other, I'm sure they'll complain about that as well. So, yes, movie watchers aren't easily pleased, that's for sure. But yeah, ultimately, it's a mediocre movie, but ultimately, I mean, it's not really any worse than most other horror movies I watch. I don't know how people suddenly decide it's worse when some people rate other things with age or shit. Never mind, it's fine. I don't even am too eager about it, but somehow the weird thing about people's reactions is weird. Whatever. Anyway.